Well, hello and good day to everybody. Blessings on your life. It's another day that the Lord has made, and we're going to rejoice and be glad in it. I know that that's almost cliche. I know it's like you say this so much to where you lose feeling, you lose sight of the words. It's like getting up and going to bed every day. It's just something that is expected to do, but you lose the punch of it. You know, how powerful is it to wake up in the morning? How powerful is it to sleep throughout the night, and all the things that happens with your body? They happen automatically, autonomously, and we're not aware of it. That just shows you the vastness and how wonderful God is. So when I say this, I don't say it lightly. It is the day that the Lord has made, and we're going to rejoice and be glad in it. However, everybody's day, just because we look out and we can see the same sun, we can look out and we can see the same trees and the same road. We may even be able to go to the same job and experience a time where we sit and eat together with the same food, the same potato. That is not the day that the Lord has made for you, that he's made for another person. The day that the Lord has made is custom. It's custom. It's not cookie cutter. And that's something that we have to consider. Some people's day, when they got up this morning, it was going to expire in a few hours later. But yet God said, this is the day that the Lord has made, and we're going to rejoice and be glad in it, because every day is a custom day. The beauty of that is that you need to find your joy in that particular day. What does this day mean for you and to you? It's not predicated on whether or not the sun is shining, or if it's rainy, or if it's cold. That has nothing to do with the day. That's not the day that the Lord is talking about. God is talking about a day that he designated, he predetermined, he assigned for your life before you were born. As he said to Jeremiah, I knew you before you were in your mother's womb. Before you were conceived, I ordained you to be. I ordained you to be. That's powerful right there. And so this now is the context of the day that the Lord has made for you. What has he ordained in this day for you to be? The day is not relegated to 24 hours, but the day is relegated to the assignment of what God has ordained for your life in this period, this time, this day. It is the day that the Lord has made, and so we're going to rejoice and be glad in it. I want to have another little table talk, if you will, and today what's on my heart and my mind, and it may not mean a lot to you, but God has been heavily ministering to me about this particular challenge that is before us, and that is the challenge with the children. I did a series on children a while back, and the series was "What Will We Leave the Children?" It was something that really pricked my heart, and it stayed with me. Even to this day, it still stays with me, because I am always in evaluation mode of what can I leave. What is going to bring life? You know, it's a saying that only what you do for Christ will last. I don't know if that's Bible, but it is a saying, almost like a colloquialism or something like that. But it's a true saying. It's very proverbial. Only what you do for Christ will last. And with that at the forefront of my thought, it conditions me to react, respond, behave in a certain way. And with that, I'm always consider, and I'm considering what I'm doing, why I'm doing what I'm doing, and all that. And so there's not a day that goes by that I don't do something and think about it 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And one of the things that I think about is the children, my children, your children, and our children. And what are we doing to promote a healthier legacy? Legacy is not a Lamborghini. And this is something that I got rebuked about recently because I went on this, I went on a terror. That's what I'm gonna call it, because I went crazy for a minute and I started unloading cash, and I should not have done that. I should not have done that for several reasons. One reason is that it did not stimulate a positive mindset when we look at all the things that countered it. Now, there were some positive aspects to it, because does God want us to have the best? Yes, he does. But in the midst of the challenges that's before us, it was not a wise thing to advertise. So that being said, I'm reconsidering, as I was over in Italy this month, the thing that I saw was minimalization, meaning that they, even though it's a rich country, they're very minimalistic, meaning that they live off the land. They live very frugal in and of itself. Now, they have a lot of tourists, so they come there and they spend a lot of money, but themselves, they've learned the meaning of life in a different way. And so the way that they look at life is a bit different than the way that we look at life, and we go about life and we live life. While I was there, I was challenged a bit because I was used to coming from 5,000 plus square feet of property or home to a space that was very tiny. I was used to going into a bathroom that you could do all kind of stuff in, a shower for more than one person. When I got there, it was set up for you to get in and out of the shower. It's enough space for you to wash your body. The houses are fashioned in a way for you to live. They don't have big refrigerators like the one that I'm looking at over here. They don't have that because it's day to day. It's more congruent with the Lord said, give us this day, when you pray, give us this day our daily bread. And that's how they live. We store up. Even in Exodus, when God was giving the manna to people, he would give the manna in a way where it would rot over a period of time, over hours. It would rot. And the reason why it would rot is because God wanted the people to be dependent upon him and not be dependent upon storage and hiding things and all that. You know, that's what we become accustomed to. And so in the Western world, we're very spoiled, and we just see life very differently. I'm digressing just a little bit because I want to stay focused on where I'm going. And I'll get back to this because I got a lot of ground to cover in a short time. In my opinion, in a short time, I like to put food on the table when food is hot. So when we look at the children, which is my focus point right now and my challenge, my concern is, what am I going to leave the children, and what are we going to leave the children that will benefit the children, that will be legacy? We have definitions of legacy and all types of things that are misnomered. It's not correct, because legacy for a lot of us is clothes. Legacy for some is money. Legacy for others is a good time at the club. Some legacies is how I look, and making sure that I don't get old. In our misconstrued mental illnesses that we have, legacies can be all types of things. Some of us legacy is nothing. Some of us don't even care about a legacy. Some of us don't care about nothing. We just want to live and die. And that is problematic all in of itself as well. However, the weightier things here is that legacy or what to leave the children is important. God instructs Moses as they were on their journey through the wilderness, on their way to the promised land. He says to get so much, an ephah of manna and omer, and whatever weight that is, whatever volume that is. He says to get this and to put it aside. And he says, put it there for the generations that will come after you. And as you put it there, I am going to preserve it. This is found in Exodus, the 16th chapter, towards the latter part of the 16th chapter. He says, put it there. And this is Moses instructing Aaron to do that. And he said, do it. He says, so that the children or the generations will know, and I'm paraphrasing right here, but will know my relationship that I had with you during this time. And it's going to be for generation after generation after generation. So there's a perpetuation of generations that will go by. And as you know, things get lost in translation, things get lost in time. And so a lot of people are going to walk by and say, what is this? What is this? Because when God is doing his work, 2 generations that will come after that, they wasn't there. And so they're going to ask the questions, what is this? The issue that we have today is that there is nothing, there is no manna, in my opinion. And when I say that, I don't mean that carte blanche, but I mean it in a very pronounced way. I mean it in a polarized way, that we have left enough of God in our spaces for children to look at and to wonder and to ask a question, what is this? Just like manna that came from heaven, when the children of Israel first saw it, the first thing that they said was, what is this? We need to unearth that place again. We need to bring it back to life, a life of what is this? What is this in faith? What is this in a relationship with God? What is this in just the things of God as it relates to your life? What is this? We have lost the tentacles that should be screaming at our children to come and see, to come and look at this manna, and to ask the generations that was before them, you know, mom, dad, sister, brother, uncle, auntie, what is this? What is the meaning of this? So our legacy now, if there is a legacy at all, is rooted in clubs. It's rooted in hair extensions. It's rooted in Louis and Gucci bags. It's rooted in Mercedes Benz. I've had some problems with this as well, and I wrestle with it, because on one hand, I feel like I'm not plagued with the things that a lot of people are plagued by, and so if I want to buy a Rolex, I can, and I shouldn't suffer, because it's like I'm trying to get life to you, but in trying to get life to you, I've got to downplay my life because you refuse to come up. And that's not fair to me either, but it's a two-edged sword, and you got to dance very gingerly, very, it's like walking on thin ice. And so I'm trying to manage that in a way that would have a positive outcome. But at the end of the day, it's balance. For me, it's balance. For a lot of others that are living at the margins, some of the things that I see you toying with and that you should not have because of your current position. I'll get off of that. So we have to start looking at a legacy and what will we leave the children. We have a spiritual legacy. We have an earthly legacy, and we have an intellectual legacy that we need to leave the children. And I don't think that we focus enough on the intellectual or the spiritual. God has been kicked to the curb. I noticed that, and I raised that even when I was in Italy, and I was seeing what God wanted me to see that the other people were not seeing, that was behind the attraction at the Duomo in Florence, the cap, the dome, which was outlined in gold and all that stuff, and at the top of it was a cross. But what God wanted me to notice was that the cross had no effect. It was just a form and a fashion. It was just a piece of metal or whatever the material that it was. It had no significance anymore in the hearts of people. And so we've got to bring that back so that the church will be the centerpiece, but the cross will be the high place. And with that being said, that the cross would overshadow everything that we do, and that governments and systems and structures will look towards the cross for their guidance. Now, without getting and digging up a whole lot of earth with that, I'll let that go, because I'll come back at another time and we will unearth that a little bit more. But it's just important for us. Statistically, our children are not being intellectually exposed to a lot of different things that are causing a deficit, which that is a disparity, and that is something that we need to take more serious as it relates to leaving certain things behind. What will we leave the children? So it's not just spiritual, it's a lot of different things, because exposure or the lack thereof is hurting us. The lack of not knowing languages, I mentioned that before. Other countries, most of them, they know 2 to 3 languages. Here in America, we function off of one language because we believe that we are the superior people, and that when you come here, then you operate in our space. And we've gotten so arrogant that even when we go into their spaces, their countries, we expect them to know our language, and they do. But the day is coming, the time is coming, and now is, where there is going to be a shift. And in that shift, it's going to require that we do more, know more, understand more. And so we're going to have to raise the bar. And so a lot of that is based upon exposure and positive exposure to know what's happening in other places of the world, and even in your local places. For instance, Black people, a lot of them, they grow up in a community, in a city, and they know about 4 blocks. And you can talk to them and they can tell you everything about 4 blocks, but they can't go beyond 4 blocks, and they're 60, 70, 80 years old. And all they know is the history of 4 blocks. And any other history comes off of what somebody tells them from some platform, some news outlet, something other than what they can actually vet for themselves. And so then this is the colonization. This is how they program you, and to make you think and create a certain narrative that may not be true. So anyway, that's my little thought, a little table talk. Everybody doing table talks, right? I don't mean it in that way. I don't mean red table. That's not. I'm just saying that I'm not in my office and I'm just sitting down at the table. And so I just wanted to share from this perspective. I want you to know that I love you today. I want you to be blessed today. I want you to know that God loves you so much. I want you to go in God, go in God's speed, go in God's love, go in God's power. And most of all, I want you to go in God's grace. Consider what I've said to you in these few minutes. Think about it. Let it resonate. Let it ruminate. Let it marinate in your spirit. When you look at your children, have a different conversation with your children. Want more for your children than the base stuff of life, the stuff that keeps us as prisoners, the stuff that keeps us bound. God wants us to have life, and that life more abundantly. And so it's very crucial now that we start to think differently and to behave differently if we are going to compete, if we're going to be competitive in this journey. All right. I love y'all. Share it. Give it a thumbs up. Give it a like. Go out to YouTube. I want to start going. I'm encouraging you all to go to YouTube because they're taking stuff down on Facebook. Most of my videos, or a lot of them, I won't say most of them, but a lot of them are not. They on Facebook because I don't know if it's a space thing or what, but they're taking the videos down. And for whatever reason. So YouTube is a safer place for me right now. And we'll continue to figure out what's the best place to, or the best way to get the word out. Okay. I'll come back. I did release a book this week. Don't have a book in front of me, but I'm going to get to it. I'm trying to put a commercial with the book in order to promote the book, and I haven't done that yet. I'm just now getting back. I'm trying to get back seated in the saddle, right, so I can, get back to life as normal, as it were, right? So I'll get to it, but it's a really good book. We'll talk about that. All right. I want y'all to be blessed.